Hello, this is a tough one because I think it's fair to say that it's breaking my heart. I nearly decided not to do anything about it because it's such a tough subject to walk my way through. But it is about how Keir Starmer has surrendered to the EU completely. I mean, if you're in a fight and somebody overpowers you, it's reasonable to surrender. But this guy here just walked to the EU and said, I surrender. Calling this man an embarrassment is hardly the word to describe what he is doing to Britain. There isn't a week when something horrible doesn't emanate from that person there. And look at him there with Ursula von der Leyen, the woman who was the German Secretary of Defence or Minister of Defence or something. And she ran the army down in Germany so badly that when they did a NATO exercise, they were using black painted broomsticks instead of guns. Just look it up on the internet. I'm not exaggerating. Anyway, before I carry on, I'll tell you I'm granniopteryx. I would appreciate it if you'd click like on the video, if you'd share it. Oh, I do wish you'd share it. I want everyone to know this. And subscribe. Yeah, remember, sometimes YouTube shaves off subscriptions. All right, let's get on with the horrible analysis. The Telegraph has a bit of a spin here. Labour revolt over Starmer's Brexit betrayal. They're going to say that the Labour members of Parliament are revolting over this. Labour MPs certainly are revolting, but not against this. Labour rebels, it says here, have turned on Sir Keir Starmer over his reset deal with the European Union. A few of them might, but they have how much of a majority? Hang on, I'll check. I've forgotten how much it is. Yeah, here we are. There are. Let's get this over to you. There are 650 seats in Parliament, and at the general election, the government, well, I wouldn't call them the government, they're the party in power though, they won 411 seats, which means 239 seats which are being shared by the Conservatives and Reform and a few independents, the Gaza Party and the Liberal Democrats and a couple more. If they all got together, they would still not be able to outvote. Baroness Hui, a Brexiteer and former Labour MP, said it would drive Nigel Farage's party higher in the polls after its seismic victory earlier this month. She says it'll be a very big boost for reform. Oh, yes, it will. And you sometimes wonder whether Starmer is deliberately doing this to drive his party into the skids. I don't mind him doing that, but he's driving the country into the skids at the same time. Of course, I know what they're going to do. They have another 4 years to go or whatever. They'll try and give the vote to 10-year-olds or something in the hope that those people will vote Labour. So they're going to... We're getting one blow after the other. And yeah, don't believe me about the voting thing. Yes, of course, they're going to try that. Graham Stringer, a Labour MP, said that accepting EU standards completely undermines the whole reason for being out. Well, that's some sense from a Labour MP, isn't it? Let me explain. And I'm going to start with fishing. The deal grants EU fishing. Now, just a minute, wherever you are in the world, just listen to what's happening here. We used to fish our own waters. Then we joined the EU, and the EU damn near fished the North Sea out. And when we left, when we Brexited, that we had an agreement that in 2026 the EU would no longer have access to British waters because they were acting irresponsibly as well. You'd get Spanish super trawlers coming and just scooping everything up. And it looks like and so when we did a Brexit deal, I think they narrowed that down a bit, and then they said after 2026 you are not fishing in British waters anymore. Now, Starmer has extended that to 2038. That's another 12 years. And they get 75% of all British fishing rights. Now, as I said, if you're not in Britain, can you imagine that? Starmer has handed 75% of all the fish around our islands to the EU. Well, I mean, it was there before, but the agreement was going to stop it. Now, it's 2025 now, and nearly halfway through. For sure, knowing that this deal was, knowing that this trespassing on British waters was running out in 2026, I should think there's a good deal of the fishing industry that has been looking forward to that and investing for it and, you know, getting bigger boats because they can harvest more fish, that sort of thing, preparing for it, putting money into it. And Starmer has offered the fishing industry £360 million in a bribe to accept this without, you know, burning something down. Look, that 360 million might save a few fishermen from cutting their own throats, but that's 360 million of our money. It's not like the money came out of nowhere. So Starmer has given our fishing rights, 3/4 of them, to the EU, and then he's handed our money to the fishermen to try and calm them down. I've got a better idea than that. Why don't we just let the fishermen catch their own fish and earn their own livings? Okay, so yeah, that particularly upsets me so much. Well, I suppose you realise that. There's also trade and food standards. We're going to have to surrender our sovereignty over food quality and accept EU diktats, and sometimes they're not that good. There was a whole scandal about eggs quite recently. And of course, that's another blow to the farmers. Now, they say, well, we get access to the EU military procurement fund. So there's going to be some money for building more armaments. Well, perhaps that might cover the billions Starmer is shoving at the EU as our non-membership fees. Remember, we still won't be members, so we will have no say in the rules they make. The EU could pass a rule saying everyone in Britain has to wear a funny hat, and that would be the rule. And do you think the police wouldn't enforce that? Yeah, of course they would. I suppose there is the upside that we're submitting to the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice, so we might be able to sack some of the parliamentarians. But of course, they won't let us do that. There's another one, the Youth Mobility Agreement, which will mean increased migration. It'll also put British universities under strain because it means the agreement says that EU students will have to pay the same fees for university as the people here in Britain, as the students here in Britain. So that's going to make universities less accessible to British students. What does Starmer care? And semi-literate population is the best thing for a Labour Party, isn't it? What can I say that might cheer you up? Oh yes, we'll be able to use the EU e-gates in airports. Maybe we'll also get some extra points in Eurovision next year. Well, that's great, isn't it? Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.